Hey guys, this is Vivian Reed and welcome to my channel. As you know, this is a channel all about show business and the different aspects of it, and to provide you with information, whether you're just starting out or for those of you who have been in the business for a while. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like. And as I always say nice things. I really am so thrilled to have this lady here with me today because I had the honor, the privilege to work under her direction in a Moliere piece, Tartuffe. I played the character Madame Pernelle. We're talking about the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey, where she is the artistic director. You know, when she came on board quite a few years ago, it was doing okay, the theater. But boy, did it start to do really big things under her guidance. I had never been to the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey, so when I saw the facility, I was blown away. The theater and Miss Bonnie has gotten accolades, awards, and so well deserved as being really one of the best classical theaters, not only on the East Coast, but just in general across the United States. And I have to say, I'm not surprised because I saw it firsthand. And Bonnie, as a director, is probably one of the best directors I have worked under and with. Because she brings it to the table. And that's not always the case. Even if she changes later, she knows what she wants. She has an idea what she wants. And she expects her actors to bring it to the table. So I am so happy to have here Miss Bonnie Monte. How you doing, Bonnie?
Hi, Viv. I'm fine. Thank you for all that very high praise.
Oh, honey, no, listen. Girl, let me tell you. I didn't say anything that you don't deserve. And I echo everyone else's sentiments about you and how you run that theater, you as a director. So, Bonnie, let's just jump right in. Let's start with young people before they, be like teens. What does Shakespeare Theater have to offer them? Where would they get started? How would they get started if they wanted to work with the Shakespeare Theater?
There's a lot of ways. We're a teaching theater, and we brag about the fact that we are a teaching theater all the time. We talk about it a lot because we are very committed to not just producing the classics in a really dynamic, kind of vital, new, relevant way, but we're really dedicated to grooming the next generations of actors who are kind of superbly trained in the realm of classic theater. And if you're trained in classic theater, you can do any kind of theater. You can do musical theater, you can do contemporary work, you can do television, you can do film, you can do anything. But to get your roots in classic theater is really the kind of the best way to go. And we actually
wait a minute. Let me start so that we go step by step. So when they come to you, when they want to audition or whatever to get in to that kind of training, are they already trained, or are you training them from scratch, or do you audition them to see if they have some kind of talent, some kind of foundation? How does that work?
All of the above, everything you just said, because it depends on what age you are. We start working with kids at age 10. So we have a very special program for 10 to 14-year-olds. We have a program for 15 to 17-year-olds, and then we have a program for 18 and up. And we do audition for almost all of those programs, except for the 10 to 14-year-olds. Those are what we call our Shakespeare core programs. And a young person can come here in the summer and engage in a really intensive 2 or 3 week workshop session with us, long days, every day except the weekend. And then they'll do a performance for their friends, for their family, for their peers, for company members. And some of the stuff that I have seen those young people do it's extraordinary. And they'll know more about Homer's Odyssey than most college graduates. They'll know more about Shakespeare's Henry V than most college graduates. I mean, they really get immersed into this world of exploring classic literature, but also what does that mean in terms of acting and how do you start? And so we work with kids, as I said, from 10 up. If a young person who's started to pursue theater in college is interested in working with us, we have a really a superb training program. It's been in existence since I got here, so it's about 31 years old. It's called the Summer Professional Training Program, and it's got two sections really. There's the section that focuses on young actors, and then there's the intern section, which focuses on young people who have already picked a non-acting area to pursue, whether that be anything from administration to set design to lighting, costumes, directing, education, you name it. So we have 22 different internships in that section alone. But the young actors do have to audition, and they have to go through an application process. There's a lot of companies in America that do apprentice programs in the summer. We pride ourselves in the fact that we limit enrollment to about 25. We do not go beyond that, so that they all get personal attention. And most of their time is spent in class and working on projects that then get presented to the company in the evenings, usually after the main stage shows. So they will work on Shakespeare, they'll work on other classics, they'll work on contemporary work. Sometimes they're working on pieces that are kind of conceived in the rehearsal room on the spot. And we make no bones about the fact that this is not summer camp. This is a very intensive 10-week program. If you want to do it, you better be prepared to be exhausted. You better be prepared to work hard. The payoff is great, but we do not coddle people. We are very upfront about what they need to do. And we do it in the kindest, most proactive way, but we don't lie to them.
Okay, Bonnie, stop right there. Ooh, Lord, don't get me started here, Bonnie. Ooh, I think I'm going to have some water before I get started on that.
I know.
Okay, Bonnie, you said so much in those last few sentences. Okay, Bonnie. Number one, a lot of times parents will push their kids into acting, dancing, singing because they see kids on television doing it. They figure, my kid should be able to do that. In your auditioning, do you come across where the kid just doesn't have it? I mean, I'm sure you have. Speak on that a bit.
Again, it depends on the age group, because with the younger kids, you can't really tell yet. And so you're going to, we certainly make an effort to make the assumption that every young kid between the age of 10 and 17 may have promise and may not. We don't know. So we work with them over the course of the summer, and then we find out. The young people that are coming in that are more college age or post-college age, we can tell pretty much whether they have what it takes to succeed. Sometimes they surprise you. But I will say that, to kind of address what you're getting at, I think they are often quite misled by what their level of talent is. We start our whole program each summer by saying to them, listen, you may end up finding that you just that you love theater and want to be a theater goer the rest of your life, because 99% of you will not make it. And we make no bones about the fact that the attrition rate in the professional theater world is massive. And it's true, 99% of them actually end up, and sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 2 months, sometimes it takes 10 years. But eventually, most people do not end up pursuing a career professionally, even though they think when they start out that they're going to be the ones that make it.
All right, Bonnie, I hear what you're saying. Now, at this time, when you do get really good students that show a strong potential and could have a good career in this business, because luck plays into everything, as we know, do you also teach them discipline and what good work ethics are? Speak on that for a second.
So when a young person enters our training program, and it doesn't stop there. I mean, when we discover young people or identify young people that we think, wow, we're really excited about them, they have a future. These are young people that we want to nurture and groom and help provide opportunities for. We really do start to talk to them one-on-one a lot, and we're very, very clear with everybody that it's not just good enough to be talented or to show promise of talent. There's too many actors and the competition is incredibly stiff. Yes. So if I can groom and nurture and hire ultimately somebody who has a great work ethic, is disciplined, is absolutely devoted to growing and becoming a better and better artist, and is talented, that's who I'm going to go with over the person who might just be talented but has a terrible work ethic.
There you go.
So people who have attitude, people who feel entitled, people who are not willing to meet the rigors and the demands of what the art form calls for, they'll also fall by the wayside by virtue of their own lack of understanding of what you need to be in order to be a great artist.
Yeah, and let's just move this up now a little bit older. They've graduated from college or dropped out of college, but nevertheless, they had theater training. And they're now coming with the goods. They're gonna audition, because what I try to get people to understand, and one casting director said, he said, I can tell when they come through the door if they have an attitude. He said, it's just something about the ones that have an attitude, that feel, as you said, entitled. And so I think, of course, I knew what the response, I know what the response is because I'm in the business and I've been in it for a long time. But on behalf of the viewer, I said, so what do you do? So what do you do? He said, well, if it turns out that they have not been respectful to the accompanist or to whomever's in the room, he said, and they just have an attitude, he said, even before they audition, we know we're not hiring that person.
That's correct. I agree.
And, I have to agree with that, because I think what a lot of young people get away with, whether you're in a theater community group or college, what you might get away with, and probably do get away with these days in college, just will not be tolerated in the professional world. And like you said, there are just too many talented people out there, and nobody's going to put up with that shit. They're not going to do it. Go ahead and speak on that, baby.
Well, there are three really big trends that upset me, and the first one is the one that we're talking about right now. I feel that right now these young people are really being duped. They're being cheated out of a good college education, because many theater departments, and not all, there are some excellent ones in America, but a lot of them basically, I think, just teach these kids to be entitled. They teach these kids to promote themselves. They fill these kids' heads with what they deserve and what they have a right to. They don't have a right to anything until they prove themselves.
That's right.
And until they exhibit both the sense that one wants to work with them because they're going to be great to collaborate with, and that they have talent, and that they have, or the promise of talent. And so you'll get a lot of young people that come into audition. They haven't done their homework. They think that they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. They think that we should just be hiring them. They don't understand that they're about to enter one of the most competitive fields on earth, and one that the competitiveness does not rely on, or those of us that are assessing them do not rely on talent alone. It's a much bigger package that we're looking at. Is this somebody that we want to spend every day with for 8 hours a day for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it is? Because there's people who just aren't worth that. And so I get very upset with schools that fill these kids' heads with really misleading notions about what their place in the world is, or what their place in the theatrical universe is. And I think that we should give every kid that wants an opportunity, but then once they get that opportunity, then they have to prove to us. I mean, we have to be out there giving those opportunities. But once they're there, and once the young person takes advantage of that opportunity, then it's their turn to say, Now look at me. I'm somebody you want to keep working with. And there are kids that do that, and they are so exciting because they fill you with hope. They fill you with you feel like, yes, there are wonderful young artists out there that are going to be just great for our profession, for the American theater. But the number of the other ones is way greater. Yeah. And so, we'll see sometimes 125 people in one day. We'll be interested in 5.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on what kind of day of auditions it is. Is it young non-equity actors? Is it equity actors? Is it kids that are still in school? It'll really depend. With the younger people, we tend to really cut them a break. So what we will do is a series of callbacks. Mm-hmm. So if we're on the line about somebody, even if we're on the line about whether they have attitude or not, or whether they seem entitled, sometimes you can chalk that up to nerves. So I'd rather cut them a break. So we really like doing callbacks a lot for the people that we're interested in, because by the time you've met them now 2 or 3 times, you're really starting to get a sense of, are they a good person to work with? Are they a good person, period? Yes. And that's what we're looking for. So we will be much more forgiving on a first audition for a young person than we will for people who have been in the business for years.
Okay, so to those you young people watching, understand this. We're talking hardball here, but that's why I did these videos. There's no sugarcoating in these videos, and nor did I desire for it to be, because you could be so talented. But number one, let's understand that you do not, and I have said this so many times, and I'll reiterate it and just keep saying it all over. Every chance I get, please, whatever you do, do not come into this business unless you love it. Unless you're ready to understand that everything is not going to be peaches and cream. You will lose auditions, mainly because of type. If you've gone in there and felt that you have given a great audition, that's all you can ask for. Do your homework, go in there, make those choices, and that's the best you could ask for. So when you leave an audition, you can pat yourself on the back and say, I've done a great job, because it really does boil down to type and what they're looking for. But when you do that, they will remember you maybe for a project that comes up later that right. You are very suitable for.
Yep.
So you stand a chance of really having a wonderful career in this business. And believe me, when it works, there is nothing like it. But you have to understand the complete picture of what show business is. Give yourself a chance. If you feel that God has given you a gift and you have something to offer for people to see, give yourself a chance by having good work ethics. Don't bring attitude to the big. No, don't do that. Because now I'm getting ready to get into seasoned actors like myself who do that crap. But I'm telling you, you young people, and even in a college setting, you may be given a role that you would not ever be hired for. It's non-traditional, and nobody would hire you for that particular thing. But you know what? In a college setting, you want to get the experience of just doing as much as you can and not turn oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I would never do a role like that. That's not the point. You're in a learning situation, where things are thrown at you. Just get it, build your arsenal, your vocabulary of what you bring to the stage. Even though no, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to do that role. Doesn't matter. It's the experience that you get. Bonnie, you want to speak on that before I get to the seasoned players?
Yeah. I agree. I think that and that's everything from taking the teeniest of roles, which can ultimately, listen, I've had actors take 1-line roles, and they committed themselves to it and to being a part of the whole production in such a stellar way that yes. I then gave them a bigger role the next time. Yes. I had one young actor that within 1 season, he went from a no-line role to quite a hefty part. And the following season, we gave him the leading role in in a different Moliere play than we had done on our main stage. And then over the years, he became my leading man for almost everything that he was right for. And so, he did not in any way do anything but less than 100% when he was up there, even in the tiniest of roles. And you stand out like a shining star when you do that. And it's the people who are apologizing for what they're up there for, or disdainful of it, or acting like this is beneath them, that you're just not, you don't want to watch those people.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, Madame Purnell, my whole family was white. Well, but I never looked at it.
Not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Not all of them, but most of them. But I never, when Bonnie asked me to do that, I never thought, I don't want to do that. Why would I do that? The grandmother's black. Most of the family is white, with the exception of a couple people. Why would I do that? Never thought about that. And I'm so glad
you were
that
great
I did it.
for that role, and you pulled it off brilliantly.
Thank you. So Bonnie, let's get on to the seasoned actors who should know better. So Bonnie, they go home, you've given direction, or a director gives direction. You go through the day of rehearsal, but they don't go home and do their homework. They just go home and do whatever, except look at that script, maybe they should have taken notes, but they didn't. And then they come in the next day, Bonnie, and they haven't gone any further than they were the day before. And so that puts a pall over the whole proceedings, because things got to go a little slower while we wait for that person to catch up.
Right.
Would you speak to that? Because I'm going to tell you, as an actor, that is so annoying.
It is incredibly annoying as a director as well. And I will tell you, Viv, when you work, we work with new actors all the time. We also work with the same actors all the time. And over the years, 31 years of being at this theater alone, I have gathered around me a kind of an amorphous group of 300 or 400 actors that I go to all the time, because they are awesome.
Yes.
The new actors, we want to test new actors all the time. We want to give new actors a chance to be seen and to work with us. And it's a simple litmus test. You come in, you join the company, and if you do a great job, we love you. You get added to the big amorphous company of 300 to 400 people. If you don't, we don't ever hire you again, because we've tested you out. We've done the show with you. You made our lives miserable while we all did it. You held everybody else back. Listen, none of us make enough money for rehearsals to be miserable. We need to be happy and joyful and be incredibly exhilarated and fulfilled by what we're doing with each other, with all together in a room. We don't need somebody who comes in and messes with that chemistry and with that, or with the potential good chemistry in the room.
And also, to be supportive and respectful of your other cast members.
Right. So when an actor comes in and doesn't behave in what I would call a professional, ethical way, we just don't hire them again. Yeah. And you can kind of tell from somebody's resume, certainly after a number of years, who those actors are, because you wonder, well, how come no theater has ever hired them back again? You know what I mean? So you look at somebody and say, you've never, you say it in your head, you don't say it out loud to them, but you think, why has nobody ever hired you back for a second show? And that's a little clue. Now, sometimes there's a good reason for that. The actor may have been moving around. There's all kinds of reasons, but it's certainly a red flag for me when I look at things. And I'll be frank, sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 shows for that person to end up in the life's too short list. I'm not going to do this again. Because I do tend to give people second chances. But as I get older, and as I know how many great actors are out there waiting for work and yearning for work, I'm way less tolerant of the people who come in and mess things up.
Yes.
So, yeah, I just don't hire them again.
Listen, we have armed you guys watching, because even for you older actors who've been out there for a while, Listen, show business is hard. You can't you can't get to I'm bitter. So I'm mad at the world. I think if you get to that point, just get out of show business. Really, because it's going to show you, it's going to be all around you when you go to an audition. So please, 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 if your attitude is that right now, I think you should probably get out of show business. And if it's not, just keep working hard and something will come along because it is a hard business. Bonnie, do you have any final words? Something that we didn't discuss that you'd like to
Well,
say?
I think you just hit on something important, Viv. I think that what schools don't teach kids enough, and what we don't emphasize to people enough, although I really do try, particularly with actors that I love and think are so talented. Part of what makes you successful in this business is an extraordinary amount of patience
Yo,
and
Lord.
perseverance and persistence, because you can go for long periods of time without getting work. And it's not a reflection of whether you're talented or not. It's
Yes.
just the way the cards have fallen. To your point, sometimes it's just because you're not what the director is looking for. It doesn't mean you didn't give a great audition. It doesn't mean you're not talented. So this reservoir of persistence and patience and as I said, perseverance is really what ultimately is another key ingredient for those who end up being successful in the world of show business.
Yes.
And I think that we don't, we live in a world where patience is almost unheard of now. Everybody wants everything satisfied right now, right now, right now. Everybody wants to be, they want to be, whoever, the biggest movie star now. Well, no,
Yes.
it
I
doesn't work
want it
that way.
now.
Yeah. And so the more that people understand that this is like, it's like the Zen of art, the art, what is it? It's a lifelong thing. And
Yes.
you get better and better and better if you stick with it. It gets more and more satisfying if you stick with it. You
Yes.
have more and more success if you stick with it. But it takes a lot of patience along the way. And I think that that those who truly have the calling usually do have the perseverance and they stick with it. But for young people, it's really important that they understand that, and that they start to develop the skill of patience.
And you want to use that time. Say you haven't gotten a few auditions, you just didn't get a call back, but you did well. Use that time to maybe continue with your studies and maybe take some dance classes on the side, because that's very important to know how to move well, even though you're not going to
Move,
get
right.
up and go in some ballet somewhere. But it teaches you about your body, your sitter. So taking classes, even in just movement, period, very, very good. Or singers,
Yeah.
take lessons, work on your voice, especially if there's something there. If you have a foundation, work on
Yeah.
your voice, because you never know. Here's the thing, you never know where it's going to come from. So if acting is primarily your thing, there's also singing and dancing. So in that downtime, work on that. There's other things that you can work on pertaining
Not
to
only
business.
that, read plays. They don't
Read
they don't read
plays.
plays. I know.
Yeah.
And Viv, get off your phone is what they should do.
Oh, Lord.
They're all hunched over, their posture's bad. And they don't know how to move
Oh, God.
in
Wait a minute.
space.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can tell a backpack wearer. I
Really,
can
yes.
tell because a couple of my students, when they come in, especially if they're new, I said, "You wear a backpack, don't you?" They said, yeah." They said, "How did you know that?" I said, "Because you're hunched over." I said, "That is unacceptable in theater, in show business, on the
Yeah.
stage, unless you are playing an old
Unless you're
lady, an
playing it
old
for a
man,
reason. Right.
a character."
That's
I
right.
said, "So I need you to stand up straight. And maybe you should stop wearing stuff on your back. Stop wearing put it on your shoulder." And a lot of them correct it. They have to correct it, because I won't allow that. Because posture is everything. So you're so right. I mean, there's just so much, guys, that go into how you come off in an audition. the way you dress. Ladies, please do not wear skirts up to your yin yang and plunging all in the front unless they have specifically asked for you to dress that way because you're playing Uchi Mama or some whatever. Don't do that because you want them to focus on your talent and what you're bringing to that audition. You want to speak on that, Bonnie?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If I'm so distracted by what you're wearing or not wearing, or distracted by the fact that your high heels are so high and you're wobbling around the room and you're clanking on the floor and I can't really hear what you're saying because your shoes are too loud.
Too much jewelry.
All of that, be comfortable, look presentable, look neat, look clean, look, and you can even dress to make you feel good about whatever it is you're auditioning for that makes you feel a little bit more relatable to the part. And that's fine, but don't come in a costume, just come in comfortable shoes that and nothing that will distract from us watching what you can do as an actor.
Like, for instance, me, I have on this and I have on this. I wouldn't wear that to an audition. Right. My arms would probably be bare. And cause that's just me. I keep it simple. I mean, I don't audition anymore that much. In fact, never. But I keep it, when I did, I just kept it simple because all I wanted them to do was just listen to what they brought me in there for. I didn't want them to look at a dress too short or boobs out to the yin. No. So just pay attention. And ladies also, your makeup. Keep it simple. I would not wear my lips red like this unless the part called for that, unless they specifically say it in what your agent said, okay, overdo it with the makeup. That's one thing if they tell you that. Keep it simple, ladies. Yeah. We're not saying not to wear any makeup because, of course, you want to put on some makeup, but keep it simple. Keep it simple. Everything's just simple.
And the same applies to your headshots. Like, don't over glamorize and also don't look so trashy that we can't see you in any other way, Yes. We don't want to be staring at your boobs in a resume shot. Why do I need to see that? Yeah.
Bonnie, this has been great. Oh my God. You have brought so much great information. Number one, I just thank you for what you have contributed to the world of show business and especially what you have done for the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey. I mean, it is just amazing. The facility is just amazing. And what you bring also as a director. I just loved working under your direction.
We got to get you back soon. I have a whole new play I want to put you in. We'll talk.
Did y'all hear that, folks? Anyway, thank you so much, Bonnie.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you for doing this for young people. I think it's great.
Absolutely. And guys, look Bonnie up on the internet. Read her bio. She is something else. And thank you so much for watching this video. And don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like. And I will see you the next time. Bye. Wave bye-bye, Bonnie.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Viv. Take care.